this video, we will be discussing the last leap of CAT preparation and overall strategy, how exactly you should be attempting your CAT. This stage is really critical and very intense, primarily because it is not just CAT, you will be writing other exams also. In the month of November, most of the students will be appearing for IFT. A good amount of students will be writing their first attempt of NMAT. And all the college goers will be approaching their semester end exams. So November month will be really critical, and in such stage it might happen that you might slightly lose focus on your CAT preparation, or maybe because of CAT preparation you might not be able to concentrate on rest of the areas. So it makes sense to have a clear focus on how exactly you will be going around with your CAT preparation in this stage. First thing that you need to understand is that you are your own competition. You are not competing with anybody else. So do not compare your performance with your peers. Just try to ask these questions to yourself. Are you exactly scoring on your potential? So if your mock score is 80 percentile, are you actually sitting at a potential of 80 percentile, or your potential is much higher than that? This is number one. Number two, are you getting consistent silly mistakes? If yes, why exactly? What are the type of chapters, what are the type of questions where you are getting these mistakes? Number three, are you spending sufficient time on your area of improvement? Number four, are you really working on your strengths and weaknesses? At the time of exam, are you capitalizing on your strengths? If you try to probe on all these four questions thoroughly, you will come to know that this is where I need to work upon in the last 1 month of my preparation. Please understand that this is not the time to give up. Instead, this is the time to switch the gear and take full control of your preparation. Let us try to dig in deeper to the four questions that I just asked you. If you answer these questions properly and if you start working on this, I can definitely guarantee that there will be an immediate jump of around 10 to 15 net questions within next 3 to 4 weeks. First one, are you scoring up to your potential? Most of the time we feel that I have been able to attempt all the questions that I really think I can, but while you evaluate, while you analyze your mock, you come to know that there are 4 to 5 such hidden questions which you could not reach out to, or there were questions which you could not get it at the first click, but later on when you read it twice or thrice, you could understand that this is something which you really know, you should have attempted it earlier. Now every such section will have 4 to 5 such questions. If you just club these 4 to 5 questions, if you start identifying these questions bit early at the time of that section, you will see that there is a jump of 4 to 5 questions in your attempts in each section, and overall 15 to 20. Agreed that it is easier said than done, but if you try to approach it meticulously, this is very much possible. Let us take an example of one section, say an analytical reasoning and data interpretation. Now you might have thought that this particular set is easy and you might have invested around 10 to 15 minutes in that set. You did not realize that this is something which you should have avoided or probably kept it for the last stage, but you kept on attempting it. At the end of exam you realize that this was a mistake and probably you will not repeat that mistake, but somehow that learning has not been ingrained and you keep repeating those mistakes. If we somehow stop these mistakes, if we somehow ignore such sets, we will be able to save at least 5 to 10 minutes in each section. This will additionally give us 2 to 3 more attempts definitely. Second is, are you really working on your areas of improvement? After each test, generally we think that okay, these are the concepts, these are the chapters, say probably I need to go through psychology based RC, more literature based RC to practice so that next mock I can handle it, but we fail to meticulously work on those particular areas. We feel that we are doing it, but probably we are not doing it sufficiently. This is one reason why we are not able to see a tangible improvement in our scores. If you really start working, listing down these area of improvement and start working on it for 2 to 3 hours per day, I am sure after 3 to 4 mocks you will see a tangible difference in your scores. Third question is, are you really capitalizing on your strengths? Most of the time students are not aware about their strength. They feel that so and so XYZ chapters are my strength, but on the day of exam either they forget that list, they start attempting randomly, or probably their list itself is not comprehensive enough to give them an edge over others in the beginning of a section. So, this is one area where if you work upon, you can definitely add 2 to 3 more questions per section. Then next is evaluating your mistakes. Are these mistakes silly mistakes or conceptual mistakes? For most of the time our reaction to silly mistakes is that okay, next time I will take care of it, but we do not sensitize ourselves to silly mistakes. In every section you will see that there are 3 to 4 silly mistakes that you are making. At the end of the test you realize it also, sometimes you repent it, but that repention lasts for not more than one day. Next day you are again making same mistakes. So, there are no concrete efforts which are going for improving on your silly mistakes. If you can just take care of your silly mistake, trust me, an addition of 2 to 3 questions per section is definitely an achievable task. First round of increase will come through the areas that we just discussed. So, approximately a jump of 8 to 10 questions, net questions can definitely be achieved through working on these 4 tasks. Second round of jump can be achieved through thorough analysis of the paper. At the end of each mock, it is advised that you work for at least 2 to 3 hours to understand what exactly is going wrong. When I say analysis means not just identifying what you made it wrong or what are your mistakes, but also analyzing the questions which you got it correct. Sometimes what happens is, especially in RC, you may think that you may get an answer correct and you may think your logic was right, but when you try to look at the solutions or when you try to discuss, you might come to know that you got a correct answer by mistake. So, sometimes this happens in AR too. So, it is not that you are supposed to analyze only the incorrect questions, you are also supposed to analyze the correct one. Not just the correct and incorrect argument, but you are also supposed to discuss your approach, whether you are hitting right set of questions, whether your approach is right, the kind of questions, are you going with some kind of a plan or not. This is something which needs to be evaluated. If you are not going ahead with a plan, if you do not have a concrete strategy in place, then it is very obvious that the randomness will take you away from your target scores. Another important area is utilizing the software tools. The tools like Mark for Review, Highlighter, online calculator, handling non-MCQ questions. This is sometimes taken lightly. This is something which you need to start exploiting instead. So, something like Mark for Review is a wonderful tool. Whenever you are stuck in a question, when you realize that you are not able to make through after 30-40 seconds, please mark for review and move ahead. Do not overspend time in any question. Remember, you are supposed to attempt in each section in 2 to 3 different rounds. First round should be only those questions where you are really comfortable and you are sure that you will be able to get an answer in 1.5 minutes. The moment you realize you are not heading towards the answer, please mark for review to that question and move on. Second is highlighter while reading the RCs. A lot of people have this habit of underlining the words. So, here highlighter as a software tool will be definitely helpful. Online calculators in areas like some of the questions of quant and DI and AR based questions where some calculation is required. There should be no guilt in using an online calculator. You start utilizing the facility so that on the day of exam you do not suddenly get nervous and you do not have to check twice thrice, you come comfortable. You can save some seconds in each question. And finally, preparing yourself for the D-Day. Now, exam is on 4th of December, so it makes sense that from 20th of November approximately, you start training your body according to your exam slot. So, if your exam slot is the morning one, please ensure that you get up accordingly and start your mock in that slot, preferably in that slot, or at least tune your body in a way that you do not feel suddenly dizzy or you do not have that anxiety on the day of exam. Also, visit the center at least a day in advance and check whether all the facilities are there or not and how exactly you are supposed to approach that center. Third, please try to have a concentrated sitting of 4 to 5 hours. I understand that CAT is just 3 hours, but you are supposed to report 1.5 hour early, and in most cases you would be in front of your system at least 45 minutes before your exam. and you will not be allowed to do anything apart from just reading the instructions. So, that 40-45 minutes should not drain out your energy and concentration, and hence it makes sense that you have a sitting of 4 to 5 hours from November itself. During your mocks and on the day of exam, please ensure that you utilize every second possible. You should have the level of aggression to utilize all the 60 minutes in each section, but at the same time ensure that you do not force yourself to attempt a question just because you have sufficient time, because accuracy is what matters the most. So, in case you are left with 3 to 4 minutes at the end of a particular section and you are not left with any question, it makes sense to take a break for 3 minutes and prepare yourself for the next section rather than forcefully attempting a question and waste your accuracy level. Finally, wishing you all the best for CAT 2016. Have a great exam.